Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and we are back with another episode of the Gibraltar Challenge. And today we have two cup finals for you, potentially another quad. As you can see, this is the first one, the Senior League Cup final against Gibraltar Red Imps, or Lincoln Red Imps, shall I say. And then after that we will have the Rock Cup final against Gibraltar United. Two matches, in fairness, we should win with much ease and pick up these two championships, which if we do pick up these two cups, then Lincoln Red Imps would actually get a Europa League spot, I believe, so that'd be good for them. I don't think it really matters. I think if Lincoln beat us, then they'll get the Europa League spot anyway. So I think either way, Lincoln's going to end up in the Europa League. And as you can see, we've done pretty well this season. Most goals, average ratings. Didn't get on the assist one, that's a bit strange. Most player of the matches, most clean sheets, and most yellow cards. We did well on everything. We got loads of yellow cards last year as well. But yeah, let's get into that first of the cup finals. And here we go, and as you can see, we are massive favourites for this one. We are 1-6. They are 10-1. Of course, Lincoln Red Imps are not the team they used to be. When we first started this career mode, I think Lincoln Red Imps were a professional side, and they were pretty damn strong. No one was getting anywhere near them, but within a couple of years, they just completely free fell until they actually got relegated down to League 2. They did manage to get themselves back up to this division as well, but still, they're still just really nowhere near what they used to be. But yeah, we should win this one pretty easily. We've gone for a pretty attacking formation. We're stuck with this one here. Now, I've got a little bit of bad news. It seems that Cristiano wants to leave. He's wanted by one of the clubs in Austria. There's major interest from them. And like I've said before, if they're going to pay the money, they can have him. They seem to be a pretty decent side. They've got 2.5 star rating. They've not got any players at all. So we don't actually know if anything will actually materialise from this, but he is asked to leave if an offer comes in. And if an offer does come in that's got decent money, then we will allow it to happen. They've got a 12,000 seater stadium already. Wow, we're not doing very well here, are we? Okay. So team-wise, we've got Ramito in goal. I won't go through these in too much detail because I do this every episode more or less now. Cracking player he is. Murphy at left back, and then a really good young player. Dulce, really good player again. Don't know how much better he's going to get. Ignio Garcia, a player who we will lose at the end of the season, of course, because he is on loan. Wildman, a really good young right back who's had a good season for us this year. I think he's just going to get better and better as well. Anders Broga, a player I'm really happy about. He has just progressed so much. He started as a young 16-year-old in our club, and he's just got better and better. Alongside him, of course, we have Chris Morgan, a player who's being considered for a senior call-up for the Australian side. Which is pretty good. Neil Triffett, the former Manchester United player, a very good player once again. He's had a good season with us. He's just getting better and better. Cristiano, the man we were just looking at a minute ago, fantastic young player. Be a shame if we did lose him, but I can understand where he's coming from. But then again, we've got Champions League football, the other club hasn't, so I think he's better off staying, to tell the truth. But there you go. Scored some cracking long shots this season. Luis Felipe, just an incredible player. Just our star player, I think, this season so far. Lots of goals, lots of assists, lots of player of the matches. And up front, we've gone for Bustamante. Now, I was unsure what to do here. Of course, I don't know if you've got him in there, have I? Twyford, of course, has scored the most goals this season. But we're losing at the end of the season anyway, so I thought I'd rather just start to use our own strikers a bit more and start to get the best out of them, really. We've done really well. I did want to play Banning in this game again, our young Cameroonian striker. But he's actually away at the moment on the international duty with the Cameroon under-20s. So we couldn't really use him. It's a bit of a shame. Cristiano forward to Bustamante. Can we get a goal here right from the beginning? That would be a shocker for Red Imps if they conceded right at the beginning. But there we go. Played it back now. So like I said, we've got a lot of new players coming in next season already. I've got a few signed up, but I've realised I've been signed up quite a few good young players, and I realise that a lot of them don't come in until next summer because of their ages. Obviously, they can't join until they reach the age of 18, which is a little bit annoying. So I'm going to try and do a little more transfer business. I'm going to wait till everyone starts to release their players, and I'll do another couple of hours of me just scouring through the market, trying to find the best players I possibly can and bring them in. But yeah, I think it's got to a point now where clubs, because I'm a Man United fan, I've got the Man United news on my news as well. And I know Man United have just released about 6 or 7 players, so I'd imagine all the Premiership sides have just done the same. So there should be some decent players knocking around pretty soon. Garcia always hit it straight at green. Green, of course, our former goalkeeper, Barry Green. Good to see him doing well. Let's make these 2 changes. I'm a bit of a surprise we missed that penalty. I think we'll do pretty well. I think the domestic quad is a bit of a given at the moment. There was a couple of years where we didn't win it, but obviously we're just getting stronger and stronger now. We're going to try and help boost Cannons up, like I said earlier on, or in the last episode, sorry. Cannons is now our affiliate club, so we are the senior affiliate for a change. And we're going to give them quite a few players next season just to really bolster them up, because I want to try and strengthen some of the other teams in Gibraltar, and it also means that we can have a few of our younger players getting some first team football as well, which is pretty good. Players like Manalash, our young Romanian striker, and a few of our players from Gibraltar as well, like Luke Stevens and Lee Howard, and players like that we want to try and keep improving, but they're just not good enough for the first team at the moment. So let's tell them that we are not pleased. That generally works out quite well. Fires them all up. Not quite sure what else we can do really to spark some life into this one. It's been a bit of a poor first half really, not a lot of highlights to talk about. Well cut out there by Wildman. We do have another American striker coming in. I know I've mentioned it a few times now. American striker coming in the summer. Looks like a really good player. So he's going to hopefully be a big advantage to us as well. Of course, Champions League football comes up in the very next episode. Not quite sure who we're going to get drawn against this year. Hopefully it's not Maribor. We've had them 3 years in a row now. I want to try and play somebody else. Maybe we can get an easier draw than Maribor. Maybe our seeding's got up to a point now where we can start to avoid clubs like Maribor. Because our seeding's high enough now that we get past the first qualifying stage, which is pretty good. As Morgan's on the ball. Plays it up to Jared Murphy, who's had a lot of assists this season so far. Plays it to Dulce. To Broga. Ooh. Triffitt plays it into Bustamante, who plays it into the back of the net, and there we go. There we go. 1-0 up. Oh, it's disallowed. Oh, come off it. Offside by arse. Dulce, there we go. That one's not offside. That one's not being disallowed. Dulce's second goal of the season, and it puts us 1-0 up with 20 minutes left. Now this is an absolute sellout, this one. Great corner in by Luis Felipe. And that's good. Very, very good. I like that. I like that. Oh, they've got an attack now though. Can we turn this into a counter-attack potentially? Ball comes back out to Carver. There's the big cross in. Oh, good clearance by Garcia. And you know what? If there was a chance of buying Garcia outright, I might even consider it. Bustamante, ball forward to him. Can he score? The ref go. Oh, he sees the run of Cristiano in the middle. It's cut out by James and Morgan. What a goal by Morgan! Chris Morgan straight in the top corner. Nice one, Morgan. Great goal that was. I thought Bustamante had ruined it. He got surrounded by 3 players and played it across to Cristiano. He got it cut out to Morgan straight in the top corner. Great goal. And you can see why he's being considered for a call-up to the Australia side. And I'd be a little bit worried that Morgan would be the sort of guy that might be prized away from us in the summer. I'm hoping he's not. But you never know, do you? He's not got any interest in him at the moment, which is a bit of a surprise to me. But I'm sure once the summer comes around, there'll be a few bits of interest. But of course, we sold Ray Kwanda last season for 1.7 million. We've sold Foster this year for 1.2 as well. So if something does come up that's worth it monetary wise, then we will have to do it. And then obviously we'll find the players to hopefully fill that position back in. And there's a goal by Luis Felipe. It's 3-0. And this has happened quite a lot this season. We struggle to score that first goal, then all of a sudden we get that goal and the other team just completely folds. Suspicion of offside there by Cristiano. I don't think it's going to matter too much, is it, in the grand scheme of things? I think the game was always going to be a win to us anyway. 22 shots to their 5. You can see exactly why we are where we are. Bustamante only plays 6.6, which is not very good for him. He's normally better than this. A header clear by Garcia. Comes back out to Crossley. There's a good cross, and that's going to be a goal for them. Waters with a goal. Volleyed in at the back post, and he's gone for a celebrate where he probably should have grabbed the ball and took it back up to get the game back up and running as quickly as possible. That's been disallowed for offside. Okay, well, at least we can keep a clean sheet in this one. Broga's doing really well. And like I said, I've really gained an affinity for Broga now because we brought him in as a 16-year-old. He spent a couple of years in the under-21s and the reserve squad, just building himself up. And now he looks like a pretty good player, actually. I'm happy to have him. As we look to have another attack here. Bustamante's on the ball and... Come on. You've got to score here. Look at them. They're just taking it in turns. Oh, Luis Felipe. Poor first touch. And that's lost it for him there. That was a potential for another goal. But there is the full-time whistle. A 3-0 win. And we have won the Senior League Cup. No surprises there. But yeah, very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. And we've got one more trophy to try and pick up now. We're going after the Rock Cup, and that's coming up right now. Now, before we go too far, I think this has gone up again. I'm sure last year we got like 38 grand for winning the Senior League Cup, and now we've got like nearly 60 grand for winning it. So I think it's actually pretty good. As we go further into this career mode, the actual the prize money seems to be going up as well, which is really good. I like that. I do like that, and hopefully it's going to get to a point where it's going to help us out, because 58 grand is not a massive amount, but don't get me wrong, it's a great amount because it's going to help pay our wages for probably a couple of weeks out. So that's really good. I like that. I wonder if we get the same amount for winning the Rock Cup as well. And here we go with final number 2, and this one's not as one-sided odds-wise, but it's still pretty much all in our favour, isn't it, really? We are 1-3, they are 7-1, and a little bit of bad news as I've realised that Luis Felipe is yet to sign a new contract. Our captain looks like he might leave us at the end of the season, which is a big, big loss. I'm so disappointed. He doesn't think we're strong enough to match his own ambitions, which is a bit annoying. And he's also wanted by a club as well, so that's really going to probably be a bit of a sting at the end of the season that we really didn't want to have. But it's going to happen to us at this sort of level anyway. We're going to end up losing players because they feel they're better than us. And in fairness, we've been hitting above our weight with some of these transfers, so it's going to happen, I suppose. But we'll get into that later on in the next episode, probably when we do all our transfers in and outs. But I think we should win this one. When they show the lineups, there we go. There's the lineups. We're sticking with the same formation. Differences: we've brought on Marlon Manning, our young Monsteration player. He's unhappy with the lack of first-team football. I'm not quite sure if he's as good as the other two players are, Broga and Morgan, but we brought him anyway. And then we've got Pavisa Moss playing as one of the attacking midfielders due to an injury to Cristiano, which is a bit unfortunate. But again, a good player. He's valued at 55,000. Huh? Sorry, I'm just a bit confused because all of our players are not valued that highly. I don't know why he's valued at... All of our players have just got... What? Oh, nice. All of our players have actually got values now. When did that happen? I don't know why that's happened. All of our players were worth, like, they were worth nothing at all. Then all of a sudden now they've got all values. They're all worth like £500, and now all of our players have actually got values. That's pretty good. That's going to help us out a lot when we're trying to sell players, because Cristiano now has a value of 220,000, which is pretty good. So if somebody comes in for an offer for him, then we know we're going to get a decent amount of money for him. He is wanted by this Austrian club. So that's going to help us out greatly with making money back on players we lose. That's something that's literally just happened between the last two matches. I'm not quite sure why it has happened. Maybe we've hit some sort of trigger in our reputation, which has given our players these values. But that's a lot better now. £55,000 for Moss. So at least we know if we do lose him, we're going to get at least £55,000 for him, which would be a nice amount of money. I don't want to lose him though. Obviously, he's a good player. And we've gone back for Banning up front. Frank Banning, a player that I really like. He's worth 22.5 grand, which is great. We only paid 10,000 for him, so we're showing a profit on this guy. And I think you may have saw earlier on, we paid 10,000 for him, and his value had slowly dropped until he got to about 1,000. All of a sudden, it's gone back up to 22.5 grand. So, yeah, it looks like we've finally hit another pivotal point in this career mode now, where our players are starting to have a decent value. So, we should start to earn a bit of money. Sorry if you can hear me. For some reason, I've gained the hiccups as soon as I've started recording this match. Hopefully, it will wear off. But yeah, enough chatting away. Let's get into the Rock Cup final. Of course, we've already won the Pepe Reyes Cup this year. We've already won the league this year, and we've already won the Senior League Cup, as we saw in the last match. This is our opportunity to walk out of another trophy, of course, the Rock Cup, and make it the domestic quad. Banning's got the free kick goals. Banning's got pretty good free kick skills. It wouldn't surprise me if he actually went for goal here. He does go for goal. Oh my word! Oh my word! Oh, Frank Banning. I like this player so much. I really, really rate this player. And we're going to see a lot more from him, I think, over the next couple of years. Really a player that I'm really rating right now, and especially with free kicks like that. Oh, God. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, it means if all our players have values, that's really going to help us out with making money on transfers. Because at the moment I've been struggling because every time somebody bids one of our players, they offer zero because they were all valued at like £500. So now they've all got actual values. It means when people actually bid for our players, they're going to actually give us a value. So if somebody does try and force a move, at least we're going to get some monetary back from it, really. And it means now that I can actually start paying money for players as well, because I've been avoiding paying money for players because they've equalised straight away. Yeah, I've been avoiding paying for players because I'm always sort of cautious of the fact that we could buy someone for, say, 100 grand, and because at the moment we can only offer people 1-year contracts. I don't know why. I don't know if that will change as we gain our reputation up as well, but can only offer a player 1-year contract. So if I pay 100 grand for someone, that player could leave at the end of the season on a free transfer. So I've not spent any money on anybody really. I've been doing most things through free transfers. Apart from Banning, I paid 10 grand for. Everyone else was a free transfer up until now, but now that we can actually get a value for these players, it might be worth actually spending a few grand here and there. I'm not talking about going up to 200,000-300,000. I'm thinking maybe at the most, maybe 50 grand on a player if we deem it good enough. And Cristiano, oh my word, this player is incredible. The guy scores some incredible long-range shots, and like I say, he is wanted by this Austrian club, and if we do end up losing him, then it's unfortunate, but at least now we're at a value of £220,000. We can probably gain at least $1 million for him, which would be a big, big thing for us. And actually, him gaining that value of 220,000 might actually now make him out of their price range, maybe, which would be good for us as well. But it's good. It's good to get that sort of value. And I've been looking at one of the other guys that I sort of found this challenge from, and he's got so far in now. He's done 100 episodes now, and he's got players that are worth 17-18 million. He's really doing well. He's getting through to the Champions League group stage every single season, so he's doing really, really well. And I'm hoping at some point we can try and match that. Good save by Ramito. Ramito is somebody who was also wanted by Crew Alexandra. So I don't know if he's going to want to leave. It all depends on him. Is Crew Alexandra going to be a club that he's going to want to go to, or will he want to stay with us and get guaranteed first-team football in the Champions League? Because he is our first-team goalkeeper. Although we've had a couple of new players come in this year, goalkeeper-wise, he's still our best one we've got. We've got about 4 or 5 goalkeepers in the squad now, which is a good position to be in, I suppose, just in case of injuries. But it means we've got 1 goalkeeper, we've got a reserve goalkeeper, we've got an under-21s goalkeeper. And we've got a couple of backups, so a couple of backup young keepers as well. Garcia Nato was actually one of the goalkeepers that started at our club, and it's good to see that he's doing well. Luis Felipe to Cristiano to Pavisa. Moss takes it past 1. And he goes for the shot there towards the far post. It doesn't quite get it. So yeah, we have been getting some more prize money as well, as we pointed out in between these 2 matches. We got 60 grand almost for winning the Senior League Cup. So I imagine we'll probably get roughly the same amount of money for this as well, which is good. So it just shows that we're just growing this over every single season. It's growing slightly. We've gained professional status. We've gained extra European spots for the nation. We've sort of built up a prize fund for the nation now as well for winning cups. Still don't win anything for winning the league though, monetary-wise, which is a bit of a shame. Obviously, our big sort of things we want to try and do is get into the Champions League group stage, or even the Europa League group stage. And of course, we want to get our own stadium as well. So some big things we still want to try and achieve in this career mode. It's by no means close to being finished. And I know there's a few out there that do watch this and do quite enjoy it as well. Moss now on the ball, plays it back to Wildman, the American. He's going to have a little friend joining him in a few weeks' time. As I mentioned, new American striker we've signed. Marlon Manning into Banning. Banning to Manning. Manning to Banning. Banning to Moss. And there's the 3-1 before half-time. That's what you wanted to see. I was a little bit... I must admit, I was a tiny bit worried when they equalised that they could come back on this one, but We've scored 2 goals since then. And can we get another one before half-time, maybe? Banning, for me, Banning's just a cracking player. And you think he's only 18 years of age now. How good is he going to get in a couple of years' time? And he's worth 22 grand as well. So, like I say, we paid 10 grand for him. So if we sell him for 22, we're going to double our money on him as well. So, I say I don't want to be the sort of person that has to keep selling players. But, like I said, to sort of sustain us at the moment, we have to really, we have to be a selling club to a point. Because we have to just keep bringing the money in. Because I don't think at the moment... Gate receipts. I think if we do gate receipts and Charizard, if we do great receipts and Champions League football, I don't think it's quite going to be enough to keep us afloat. We need to maybe sell one player a season for a decent amount of money to fully fund ourselves. Really, that was a very long replay, wasn't it? And another highlight before half-time, straight after that one. Oh, they've lost it down that side. It's picked up by Luis Felipe. Such a shame if we lose this player. Look how good he is. Look at that. Oh, almost a fantastic goal. Another highlight as Garcia Naito plays the ball forward. It's headed back by Dulce, back by Daddy France, one of our players we released last summer. It's nice to see him picking up a good season of football in one of the top teams. Chris Morgan here, the Australian centre defensive midfielder, plays a big ball across the pitch to Marlon Manning. The guy who plays alongside him. Manning takes it past one, plays it forward to Banning. That whole Manning to Banning again. That's just going to confuse me, that is. And you see we're just all over them. There's no way they're going to come back into this one, is there really? Manning plays it forward to Cristiano, who scored a cracking goal to bring it back to 2-1. Luis Felipe back to Manning. And Manning, oh, Manning sees the top corner and he puts it in as well. Manning, of course, one of the first players we brought when we went to professional. He's doing pretty well here. Now, one thing I was looking at earlier is players that we've got that are, that we brought in when players that we brought when we went professional originally, just to see how long, sort of nationality-wise, they've done to obviously qualify to become a Gibraltarian national. Now, it looks like it takes about 5 years to become a Gibraltarian national, so it's going to take a while, and a lot of the players I think we might get taken off of us before we reach that level. Some of the players that we have got that are really good, players like Chris Morgan, of course, has played for Australia under 20s, but he's still available to go to a different nation, I think, at the moment. Also, there's Manning himself has already got 30 odd caps for. He's already got 30 odd caps for Montserrat. So there's not a lot of players. Like, I think Banning's already playing for the under 20s for Cameroon as well. I think it depends on where we get these players from. If we get players from like Spain and England and teams like that where they've already got a really good national side, and we're probably not going to be able to break into that national side, then we've got a chance of probably them getting the opportunity. You know what? I've completely talked over them. We've actually scored a 4th goal. Oh, that was Marlon Manning's goal, wasn't it? Yeah. Sorry, I'm going a bit crazy now. So 4-1 at half time. This is just going to be a case of how many goals we score in this one, isn't it? Really. And Philippe is just an incredible player. I'm so disappointed that we're going to lose him at the end of the season. We might not. We might be able to talk him round. You never know. It happened a couple of times now where players have left, and as soon as they've left, I've offered them a contract and they've come straight back again. So it's a little bit difficult, but I'm hoping we can arrange something with Luis Felipe, because he's sort of one of the key members we need to try and break through in the Champions League. Although it's been a bit difficult the last couple of years, because although we've sort of been very, very close to Maribor the last couple of years, we seem to always do well on possession, but we just can't seem to score goals. And it seems to be whenever they get an opportunity, they score straight away. It's a little bit annoying. And it looks like it seems to be dying down a bit now. We're just sort of seeing the game out. They've got a corner. It's Oliver. It's not headed clear, but Murphy does boot it clear. Only as far as Atkinson, forward to Nixon. I think Nixon came through our ranks as well. Oliver plays another cross in, and there is Nixon. It's bouncing around in there, And it's finally given us offside against Jose Antonio Campo Lopez. It was a mouthful. Ramito plays the big goal kick. It's come back now to Cristiano. Forward to Pivisa Moss, the young Croatian. Well, I say young, he's 24 years old, Croatian player. Very good player, though. I think he started off in the Spurs Academy, I think he did. Wildman. Across to Marlon Manning. To Luis Felipe. To Banning. No, it's gone straight through to Cristiano, and it's a good shot, but Garcia Neto does save it. And it's Cristiano now at the corner. Plays it in. It's headed clear by Danny France. Of course, the play did come through our academy as well. And it's good to see that we are sort of creating all these great players that the other clubs can use. And I'm thinking once some of the other clubs go professional. Now, this is what I saw in the other career mode from the other guy I was watching. I can't remember what his name is now. But he was actually selling non-Gibraltarian players to other clubs in Gibraltar on the cheap just to try and strengthen them. And I thought that was a really good idea. But at the moment, obviously, we can't do that because none of the other clubs are professional. And these players don't want to go anywhere else unless they play in professional football. One of the other things as well is that now we have an affiliate built in with Cannons, like I mentioned earlier on. We will be sending them quite a few players next season, so hopefully they'll get themselves a bit of a boost. And I don't know how it works with the whole part-time, full-time thing. Obviously they're being loaned from a full-time club to a part-time club. Does that mean they're only going to train part-time, or does that mean they're going to train full-time but the only ones that do? It's going to be a bit of a tricky one, but hopefully it won't be too much of a problem, and Cannons will probably end up getting themselves promoted. I can't see why they won't get themselves promoted, because they're going to end up with the strongest team there by a country mile in Division 2. It's a little bit of a shame we didn't go for Glasses, because Glasses have just got themselves promoted. I got the choice between Glasses and Cannons, and Glasses have just got themselves promoted, and Cannons are obviously still struggling down in the in Division 2. But I say it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm sure we'll manage to get them through next season. That's our task, is to get Cannons promoted next year, and I think we've definitely got the players available to do that for us. And a few players that I think well, I think I'm going to give them quite a few of our Gibraltarian players. Maybe the players like McDonald, players like Conroy, players like Ashley Riley, players that we don't play a lot at the moment. It'd be good for them to get a bit more first team football. Plus, it'll also really help Cannons as well. So we'll probably do that. As Morgan plays it forward to Manning. Is there another goal in this one for us? We get 5. Moss is on the ball now. Moss sees Banning, and Banning sees the back of the net. And it's another goal for Frank Banning. And this player I think is probably one of the most exciting players I think I've signed on this game so far. The young Cameroonian striker. If you take into account that free kick goal in the first half as well, and he's just so good, and he seems to have such a high work rate. He's chasing the ball around all the time. We saw it the other day when they were at a corner, and he was the first one back, sprinting back to get the ball. He's getting quite a few assists. He's getting quite a few goals. I really think he's going to be the next level for us, and especially it's great if we've got proper values on the game now, because it means that players like that are going to end up getting us some money if we do have to sell them in the future. Banning plays it back to Morgan, who plays it into Manning, who's already scored one long shot, and he went for another one. It just went wide of the left-hand post. And is that going to be it? There it is, the full-time whistle. We win 5-1, which means we win the Rock Cup as well as the Senior League Cup. So it's been a pretty good season for us now. We won the league by 17 points. We've won the League Cup, Senior League Cup. We've won the Rock Cup, and of course we won the Pepe Reyes Cup as well. So a great win for us. Frank Banning scored 7 goals in the Rock Cup, and we only brought him in January. Ugh, incredible player, just incredible player. So let's have a quick look now at the schedule before we all go away. And we'll just see how well we've done this season. So we were unlucky against Maribor. We went out 3-1 on aggregate. It's a disappointing one, that is. Won the Pepe Reyes Cup with 2-0 with goals from Triffett and Twyford. And then from there we just dominated all season. We got 6-0 win over Leo. 7-1 over Olympique. 6-0 over St. Joseph. 6-0 on Cannons, who of course are our feeder club now. 6-1 over Britannia. 6-0 over College. We really just have dominated teams, and I don't know why the cup final seems to have disappeared off the bottom of this, but there you go. So yeah, it's been a pretty successful season. Now of course our next episode we're going to come back and we're going to end up playing the Champions League second qualifying stage. Hopefully we can get a bit of a nicer draw this year. I don't think Maribor are that strong, to tell the honest truth, but It's this guy here who does my head in. How much is he worth? Can we buy him? He's worth 1.1 million, but he's wanted. He is wanted by FC Zurich. So if they can... If FC Zurich can take him away from Maribor, I'll be very happy, because I don't want to keep ending up against these guys. Yeah, but they've only got him, and they've got Herbashik, who's worth 18k. Whoa, I thought he had a pointy hat on there for a second. He's worth 18k, and he's torn, so he's going already. He's going to... Yeah, I'm not even going to try. I know he's going to this club. So Maribor are going to have no players next season anyway. It's all going to have to be generated players. Oh, they've got a few under-18s. But yeah, it should be a bit easier for us if we do draw them again, but hopefully we won't. Hopefully we'll get an easier draw. I don't know how it works out with the seedings now, whether we're going up in the seeding, but of course I will let you know in the very next episode when we get our second qualifying stage of the Champions League. So that's going to be the end of this episode and the end of season number 8, I believe it is. It's amazing to think we're only 8 seasons in and we've done so much so far. We've been promoted, we've won the league 7 years in a trot. We're doing well in the Champions League. We've done well enough to skip the first qualifying stage now. We've gained extra national Europa League spots for the nation. We're now getting prize money for winning the cups, which we can have a look at as well actually on Rock. So what we won for the Rock Cup? £51,053. That's a lot. That's a lot more than what we ever have done. That's amazing, that is. So yeah, we've gained 100 grand just winning those 2 competitions, which is pretty good. And yeah, we're doing really well. I think we're on the cusp of getting through that second qualifying stage as well, and this could be the season. Hopefully this is the season. So next episode, of course, we will also have some brand new transfers for you as well. So yeah, looking forward to that, and I hope to see you again in a couple of days. Of course, if you have enjoyed this episode, please do hit the like button. It does help me out a lot. And of course, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe for a lot more of this Gibraltar challenge. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.